advocate, help me to make sense of this is the largest demographic this generation is of those who, one, don't go to church, and two, don't have confidence in democracy.
Oh, links will be down in the description. I will stop and start. This is Jamal Bryant talking to Stacey Abrams. And he asked a very good question. This generation is the largest generation of those who don't go to church and who don't trust democracy. Loaded question, I guess. Let's talk about it.
What role does the church have to do? I read something the other day, I think in the Washington Post, that the black church is no longer the cultural influence that it once was in days gone by for the election for younger black people. What do you say or think that the black church needs to do to level that?
All right. Well, before I let her begin, can we say that these are probably two of the most unqualified people to make any sense of that reality? The fact that people don't believe in democracy and that the black church has lost its lampstand when it comes to influence amongst younger black people. You have two shills. One philandering pastor who just had Kamala Harris at his church to preach the gospel of child deletion. And she didn't preach it, but that's what she believes in. And you should never have that person. Oh, goodness. Jamal Bryant and Stacey Abrams have no idea. They are so steeped in their own ideology and their own blindness, spiritual blindness, that they would never be able to understand why young black people have walked away from the church. Let's talk about this. All right. So we live in the age of information. That means I can go to my phone and I can find out pretty much anything I want to find out. Few clicks. Search engine, chat GPT, whatever you want. I can go and look it up. I don't have to go to the library. I don't have to, search periodicals in the Dewey Decimal System and all these other things. I don't have to do that. I can go and find out about Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger, who said that we want to use the black preacher to calm the fears of any of its more rebellious congregants when they figure out that we want to exterminate the Negro race. And she used black preachers, and he is in line with those types of black preachers, those black preachers that will let you hedge, right? You can be on either side. It's okay to worship Jesus, but also vote for child deletion and child sacrifice. That's okay. No, forgetting the fact that Moloch worship and child sacrifice in the Old Testament was punishable by death. No, today Christians can walk hand in hand with Democrats as we go to the polls and vote for the woman's right to choose and to have control over her body. Here's the thing. Your body is not your own. You were bought with a price. That's what 1 Corinthians says. So glorify God with your body. Now, how is your body glorifying God when you are destroying the life that he put inside of it? Now, you may have sinned to get it there, but the Lord gave the increase. Children are a blessing from the Lord. The fruit of the womb, a reward. Again, we're supposed to do everything to God's glory. Everything. That includes voting. All right. So when you tell people that Christianity has no place in the ballot box, first of all, you're denying Christ. Christ said, if you're ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, I will be ashamed of you when I stand before my Father in the you stand before my Father and the holy angels. That's in Mark chapter 8, verse 38. You've been told to glorify God with your body. You've been told to glorify God in everything that you do. Voting falls under that. You are told not to be ashamed of Jesus Christ. You're not to be ashamed of the things that he said or him. So why is it that men like Jamal Bryant tell you that your vote or your Christianity doesn't belong in the ballot box? Another aside, here's the problem. This separation of church and state myth. This idea has gained so much traction and it is fueled by so much ignorance that it's laughable that people think that the separation of church and state meant the separation of God and government. If you understand anything about the founders, they were deeply religious people. I forget the quote, but it says I forget which, I believe it was Adams, but he says that our Constitution was made for a holy, moral, and religious people. It will govern no other. They understood that the centrality of God was necessary for this nation to be a success. You could not have a freedom from God and have men be free, because men will do whatever they want. Just like the book of Judges says, everyone did what was right in their own eyes. If the law of the land is do what thou wilt, this nation is doomed from the outset. We cannot have a free and free people who lack morals. This is what we see. We get the freedom to delete our children, the freedom to change our genders, the freedom to do anything and explore anything sexually that we desire. And these are the type of men that promote it, because he himself is doing all of these things. He's a single pastor in a church full of black women. And I know he ain't chaste. We could tell that he has an appetite for women. We know that from the past. We can go look at his history, and it's right there for all to see. Again, so we've got Margaret Sanger. Then we've got the next thing that came down the pipeline was the Civil Rights Act and the Great Society programs. All of these things were an effort to get the black man out of the house, and the preachers did not stand up against any of it. The black preacher is the one who used this opportunity to go philandering. They used the opportunity. Oh, well, these men ain't going to be in the house, and the woman needs somebody that they can look up to. There's a smorgasbord of women and a smorgasbord of money, because these women are going to have no man in there to look and say, no, that dude is full of it. He's a con artist, which is the reason why black men have left the church en masse. They're not dealing with this. Why would they deal with this? You have either the Jamal Bryants who are out there philandering, money hungry. You either have the soft ones who are effeminate, who will not take a stand and tell you what thus saith the Lord, and say, well, because thus saith the Lord, this is how you should walk, and make firm declarations as to the fact that we can no longer, or we cannot, align with a party that wants to get God out of every area of our lives and destroy the very fabric, the nuclear family, identity, everything. They want it all to be destroyed so that they can make it new in their own image. But we have pastors who will say, well, no, you can be either one. You can be either one. We don't want anybody to think that one is better than the other. See, they're not qualified to make these calls. He is not qualified. He's not qualified to be a pastor. He's definitely not spiritually qualified to be able to see the truth and to address it. The reason why young people are in the age of information, they know this foolishness. They can look this up at the drop of a hat. They know that you're full of stuff, and they're not falling for it. So you're not going to be able to pull the wool over their eyes, you or Stacey Abrams. Now I'm going to listen to what she has to say. I don't think it's going to be worthwhile, but I just ranted.
So we begin with where things started to fall apart. We have a generation that has access to more information instantaneously than any generation that's preceded it.
Yes.
We also have a generation that has faced more trauma, turmoil, and constant threat than previous generations, let's say post-Reconstruction, because you can never do a comparative to slavery.
Are you serious right now? So you're telling me that this generation has experienced more trauma than the Jim Crow generation or the Reconstruction? What? These pampered, lily-livered, soft, overfed, overweight, government subsidized, more trauma. We are living. I've experienced nothing like my grandparents. No type of hardship that I could even, none compared to my parents. None. Wars and the like, civil unrest, Jim Crow. What? I can't listen to no more of this, y'all. Look, I can't do it. I can't. Thank you to all the members. I appreciate you. Until next time, be on the alert, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. See y'all around. Bye.